Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Perceive 2021. Please give a warm welcome to our distinguished guest, Nate Holmes, who is the Product Marketing Manager at Widen. And Nate is going to be speaking about how Widen uses AI to manage digital assets. Nate, welcome to our stage.
Thanks so much, Jeff. Like you mentioned, I'm Nate Holmes, Product Marketing Manager at Widen. And what we're going to cover today is first looking at why businesses are investing in digital asset management, or DAM. We'll then go through some use cases for AI in DAM, and then I'll share some tips for getting started. So let's start. Why are businesses investing in digital asset management? And I think once we better understand that, we can understand the applications for AI and managing those digital assets. Content impacts the customer experience at every stage. Whether you're in B2B, B2C, customers are using content to find, choose, buy, use, and share your products. And so it's really important for businesses to be able to manage that content efficiently because that content needs to be available and helpful and compelling. And the videos and photos and imagery that we have help support content at each of those stages. And digital content has become a key fixture for marketers everywhere, and it just keeps growing. Think about every time you add a new product, you're going to have more photographs, new collateral, more videos to communicate the value of that product. As you enter new geographic markets, that might mean new messages or visuals that you'll have to create, new channels. Think about social media and all the imagery and video that's required to really sustain a presence on there really adds up. And so it's important to be able to manage that efficiently to reuse it across channels. And there are new formats evolving to create more engaging digital experiences like AR and VR and 3D assets. And then there's content marketing, creating content that's helpful, that builds an audience, but then you can monetize that audience, selling products to that audience, as well as content personalization. We can know more about our customers and then use that to understand what are their needs and then deliver content, information that's relevant to them in the right moment. So the problem is it's just difficult to manage all of this information, all these digital assets that are representing your products, representing your brand. So they're the photos, the videos, the brochures, and more. And it's coming from a lot of different sources. You've got photographers and designers and videographers and all these different teams creating content. And then it needs to go to all these different places, whether it's online on social media, your website, e-commerce, as well as these assets are used like in-store experiences or billboards, all these different places that your digital assets need to go. And then to make it even harder, these assets can change and evolve over time, whether it's new messaging that needs to be reflected everywhere your brand is, or new visual styles or new product updates, making sure that you're presenting that consistent brand and customer experience wherever your customer is really important. And so it's hard to manage that change. So DAM changes the way your teams can work with digital assets. So you can go from scattered to centralized. So your teams aren't looking around different shared folders and hard drives and file sharing tools. They have one place to go and access what they need. And so it goes from at request, waiting maybe for a team to wake up if you're in a different time zone to get something, to now it's self-serve. You can go into the system and access what you need. You can turn version confusion into confidence by having version control and making it clear this is the most up-to-date version that everyone should be using. And then it helps take these manual processes and automate them And you can go from unknown to trackable, not being sure where an asset is, what version it is, what has changed, and then helping teams understand how this asset has evolved over time. So what is DAM? We've got our kind of dictionary definition here that digital asset management, or DAM, is the practice of administering, organizing, and distributing media files. And DAM software enables brands to develop a library of photos, videos, graphics, PDFs, templates, and other digital content that is searchable and ready to deploy. So this management of content is over its lifetime, starting with uploading for distribution across your organization, then routing it for review, comment, and approval, then being able to control who can access it, defining roles and setting permissions, taking metadata, which is a big one we'll talk about today, and using rights and security, categorizing to help search and filter and find assets, curating collections for events or campaigns, as well as being able to transform these assets on the fly so it's easier for our teams to use it in their context. Sharing on different tools like CMS or CRM, marketing automation, or other creative tools, and then publishing these assets to the web, in your emails, on your social media platforms. Then being able to analyze the performance with insights and analytics, saying, who's accessing it, where, how are they using it? And then finally, archiving at the end of the asset's life to preserve the content and data. So you can reference it in the future. Maybe you're wondering, what did we do for that campaign? Being able to easily go back and see what was all created and used. So all these workflows are dependent on data. So what is metadata? Metadata is simply information that describes and defines assets. So it can describe what the file is, maybe some details about it, and how it should be used. Some common metadata fields are file name or file size, the date it was created, and maybe licensing information. And so this can help record the file's content. Might be descriptive keywords, or maybe there are fields that are uniquely relevant to a particular collection, like a product ID. And metadata really makes assets findable and discoverable. So findable means I know what I'm looking for, and then I'm able to find it. Versus discoverable, I'm not sure exactly what I need, but I'm able to get into the system and then eventually get there. So things like categories, helping us kind of browse through different options, keyword search, searching for something like a bicycle, a faceted search, where I'm able to limit what I'm looking at. So if I just want a specific file type like a video or an image, or an advanced search where I want to search for something specific in a specific field. So all of these tools work together to help us find and use assets more effectively. And metadata is evolving to power automation. It's no longer just a way for us to more efficiently find an asset and have information about it, but we're now using it to integrate into dynamic digital experiences, pulling assets based on what you know about the customer to personalize an experience. Or maybe within a DAM system, being able to set up notifications. So maybe if there's a new asset created that needs some information added, or they just need to know that it's happening, we can automatically notify them. Or maybe if an asset's about to expire, being able to proactively let the right person know about that so they can handle it. Also, auto-updating portals. Portals are a great way to share access to a curated set of assets, whether it's with an internal or external team, with a share of a link. And so you can set up criteria such as like a persona or a campaign, a product, and then whenever those approved assets have that information, they're automatically shared in that portal. So you don't have to have someone manually doing that. So pretty powerful stuff. So these DAM workflows are dependent on data. And AI can help us manage our assets because it can be a pretty large time commitment. And so AI is going to help us generate metadata faster than manual processing and at a lower cost. And it's really going to help us tackle these simpler tasks so our teams can shift more time to more advanced tasks, like helping us go from finding things to supporting maybe metadata that supports the business strategy or more closely tied to customer experiences. So let's go through some use cases for AI computer vision in DAM. So the first one is pretty common in DAM systems at this point, using AI to auto tag keywords. So it's a great way to take a first pass at adding keywords to an asset. And the great thing about it is that once that asset is added, the asset is instantly searchable by those keywords that have been added by the AI. And then you can expand or adjust that metadata as needed. So one of our customers, John George, shared that Clarifai helps add enough context to photos to make them immediately accessible until I can fully tag and categorize them. It also reduces the amount of time I spend tagging photographs, which is the most labor-intensive part of DAM administration. Image searchability supports reuse, which reduces project costs across the organization. So here's a real-world example of auto tagging from a customer. Now, I don't have the actual image because it's theirs and I can't use it, but you can almost get a picture of what this image looks like based on the keywords from Clarifai: indoors, people, facial expression, togetherness, adult, student, and then the keywords that admin added to help support that. So the second use case of AI to manage digital assets is auto tagging keywords using custom image training. So you can use your own data to train the AI tools. So you can have keywords specific to your brand. Think about maybe, if you make bikes, searching bike might not be as helpful. So having AI to help you tag the specific product images. And then you can expand or adjust the metadata as needed. And so it's just going to help increase the discoverability of specific types of images in your site. It's going to allow your marketers and designers to find that exact collateral for specific search terms. And so how this works is you're going to create an application within Clarifai. Then you're going to create a model and then add images or inputs into that model. And you can label these images individually or in bulk. And so you're then training this model, and then you give that model ID to your customer success manager at the DAM vendor side, and they can add that into your site. And so then you have this custom image training available in your DAM. And then the third use case I want to share is a visually similar search. So you can have images in your DAM system. Maybe you're looking at a specific one, and then you can find similar images without needing the words to describe it. So it helps you discover new content that looks similar. And it also helps you reduce the burden of manual tagging, trying to think of every possible keyword you could add to make this image findable. So I think some compelling use cases for this could be, finding multiple assets to support maybe a specific mood or visual style for a marketing campaign. Or maybe, this one shot has been used a lot, but you want something similar for a piece of collateral. So you can take a look and see, what else looks similar, but it's not this image. Or maybe you're finding a specific photograph really resonated on Instagram, and you want to find some others like it. And here's what this visually similar search looks like in the DAM system. So above, you'd see the image you're looking at, and then presented below are related assets that we serve up, including by the look of that image. And so there are some pretty exciting things ahead for the future of AI and DAM to manage assets. And it's just going to continue to accelerate making content findable and usable. So some things we're looking at exploring is making this similar search available via the API. So you can then kind of extend that into other systems. Using smart tags for images. So applying those keywords as tags to these images, and then using that tag to then find other images. As well as helping to identify visually identical assets. One thing a DAM system should help you do is identify duplicate content. So there only is that one main asset that's in the system. And so, you can do that through looking at file names, but that's not always perfect. So using the AI to identify those visually identical assets will help managers find those, and then only use that one image that's right. And then thinking about your brand and the importance of consistency. So maybe looking for off-brand content across your entire library. Maybe you've gone through some rebrands and want to make it easier to find those things that should be either updated or retired. Or maybe supporting sentiment search for images. So there are a lot of possibilities that are coming just down the road for using AI to support that findability and usage of assets. So some tips for getting started. A big thing is finding a DAM vendor that's going to have the right solution for your organization. And so there's a lot that goes into this, but wanted to pull together some ideas. So talk up with your teams about your DAM needs. Thinking about where are all your different assets? What are the kind of different types of assets you use? Who are the people who need access to this? And then ultimately, where are these assets being used? So then you can start to prioritize some goals. Think about different use cases for the DAM. If your teams, aren't able to access or find things, that's going to help you understand what you need to do to make those accessible. And really then identify those requirements of the system. And then determine how you're going to approach the selection process, and really encourage you to try the software out, whether it's a proof of concept site or maybe there's a free trial, but getting into the system and seeing really how it works. And some topics you'll want to discuss with your DAM vendor and Clarifai. Think about how AI can support your overall approach to DAM. At this point, AI isn't going to tag everything, so you have to think about where is it going to provide the most impact, because it can definitely supplement a lot of your DAM administrators' duties in terms of making those images instantly searchable. And so thinking about all the different type of data that's going to help your teams find, use, control permissions to your assets. And then part of that is thinking about, do you need a pre-trained model or something custom? And then thinking about that threshold for the probability value. Thinking about, how confident do you need to be in the AI taking this asset with the right data? So I hope this session has uncovered some ways that AI can help you manage, find, and discover assets to streamline your content operations, as well as ultimately support great customer experiences. So thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you so very much, Nate. It was a pleasure to learn more about digital asset management systems and how visual recognition systems powered by AI are playing an integral role in digital asset management. So a big round of applause from our virtual audience, and we will see you at our next session, everyone. Thanks a lot.